Hello and welcome. Good morning as it's TU Giving Day and we are at McFarland Library and it is Starbucks and it is coffee with the coaches and we have four of the University of Tulsa coaches on Giving Day. And let's just first of all talk about what Giving Day means. It is your way to contribute to the University of Tulsa Athletic Department and, of course, fund all of these great student athletes. Now, go to givingday.utulsa.edu if you want to get involved, and you have to go to Find Your Cause in the top part of the menu, and then go to Athletics or Golden Hurricane Champions Fund. That's the way to give today. And why is it special? Because it supports the student athletes. But we also have what they call Power Hours. And Power Hours is the early bird from 7 until 9. So if you're thinking about giving, think about these hours. And the happy hour is 4 to 6. And the night owl is from 10 until 12 p.m., until midnight. The reason those hours are important is because Brad Carson, the president of the University of Tulsa, is doing matching funds during those hours, and whichever unit at the University of Tulsa comes up with the most giving, he will match those. And I think Tulsa Athletics won 2 of those 3 last year. So think about that when you're giving today on TU Giving Day. And we're joined by 4 of the coaches at the University of Tulsa. Coach Eric Conkle of TU Men's Basketball, Coach Chrissy Strimple of TU Softball, Tom McIntosh with TU Men's Soccer, and then Brandon Campbell with TU Rowing. All right, let's just kind of start this free-flowing conversation about what are the challenges and kind of the opportunities this day in college athletics, Eric?
Well, the challenges are different than ever before across recruiting, retaining, and just being able to attract talent and keep your talent here. And to do that, one, we want to be able to stand on our education. We've got an unbelievable school here. Second, we want to be able to use the opportunity of providing a first-class experience here of development and care. And to do that, there's so many different things that all of our donors have the opportunity to help us with, from just the overall general fund of being able to help support our teams with the way that we feed, the way we travel, the way we equip our student athletes, and then, of course, the CASE Fund, which was new last year, of providing full cost of attendance, which is allowable per NCAA rules, and then also that Alston Academic Fund, which gives our players an extra incentive to do well in the classroom and be able to provide some more resources their way. These are things that we go up against in recruiting, so to be fully funded in that way is a really big deal.
Absolutely. And Coach Chrissy, every sport is a little bit different, but you have your own challenges.
I would echo, exactly what Coach Conkle said, and softball is a growing sport, a growing female sport that's become very popular, not only in the state of Oklahoma, but around the country. And we also face those impacts of retention and opportunities for these athletes to earn outside of what they do on the playing field. And so all the donors, everybody that donates to the University of Tulsa Athletics, impacts our athletes again on how they eat, how we travel. The different technology that's out there for these athletes to learn from and continue to get better and help us compete on a national level.
Coach Mack?
Yeah, I think for us, one of the challenges is kind of always been is, we're a sport with 10 scholarships, and, we have roughly 30 players on our team. And so specifically the CASE Fund, that helps reward players, for doing well in the classroom. It's real dollars that my players use to potentially help pay some of their tuition. Many of my players are on combined academic and athletic scholarships, and I think to continually incentivize them with the CASE Fund and having that there, I think makes a massive impact on our program.
Coach Campbell?
Yeah, the only thing that I would add that's a little bit different for our sport is our equipment replacement. Rowing is an expensive sport. Our boats cost $65,000, oars $10,000. Even the indoor rowing machines are $1,000 a piece. And the thing that's a little bit different is the wear and tear eventually does affect boat speed, So for our student athletes, being able to replace that equipment and knowing that all their hard work that they're putting into isn't being lost in what we're using. So we've been very grateful to all the supporters in the past, and getting the program to where it is, and now it's just about maintaining what we have.
Yeah, and Brandon, maybe only football is similar to yours in that they have the 18-wheeler that goes to a road game. You have to get those boats to San Diego or Oak Ridge, Tennessee, or wherever, and that's a logistical thing, isn't it?
It sure is, yeah. I mean, starting tomorrow, I'm getting the truck and driving to Florida, and then we'll get back on Sunday, and then again on Wednesday of next week, we're heading down to Sacramento, so completely across the country. But it's a challenge, but, getting there and watching that team compete is well worth it, so.
And with the Case Fund, how much has it helped in recruiting, knowing that you're, in the living room with the parents of a potential student athlete and you say, hey, your youngster has to be successful academically to get this bonus at the back end. How important is that? How's that helping recruiting?
It's really important, and it's in our level of Division I college basketball and who we're competing against. You want to be able to show that we're providing all the opportunities that others are at this level, and we're doing that. And it says a lot about, first, the leadership of Brad Carson, our president, Rick Dixon, our athletic director, Mike Case and his generous contributions, as so many others as well, to be able to provide that level of support. And then also, it is incentivized. This is a great school. Students that come here are absolutely motivated to get a great TU degree, but it's just another little carrot at the end to be able to say, okay, you do well here, you've got an opportunity to earn some money.
Anybody else want to chime in on that?
Oh, I think it evens the playing field, if not sometimes puts us past, some of our even conference opponents, in the American as far as softball goes. And so to be able to sit down and say, if your daughter comes here and she's successful in the classroom, she'll have an opportunity to earn, X amount of dollars based on this Case Fund is huge.
Yeah, and when you click on athletics, you can go to the Case Fund. You'll see that right away on that particular tile. But if you click on Golden Hurricane Champions Fund, maybe a little less sexy, but it keeps the lights on. It helps Brandon get his boat to where it has to go, right?
Yeah, I think the Champions Fund for me is exactly what it says. It helps us win championships. I think it is just as it's equally as important as the Case Fund. It might provide us the opportunity to go play a very high RPI team to help our RPI to advance into the NCAA tournament. So it provides those kinds of opportunities. I think it provides us. For me, it's the Champions Fund is the difference maker towards winning. That's really what the Champions Fund is. Our budgets get us to games. Our budgets get us to where we need to go. But then Champions Fund is what gives us the best opportunity to take advantage of those opportunities and to win games. And for me, the Champions Fund is, I think it's a massive part of our program.
Yeah, and Brandon, you've got the facility out at the river, so I mean that's a whole expense as well, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I already talked about it a little bit, but Champions Fund really drives our equipment and what gets us, to where we need to go. So.
And so why is Giving Day important today? Well, the power hours that we mentioned, but this is a special day really across the entire university as far as giving is concerned. And when it comes to athletics, this is kind of part of the engine. It's not that you can't give after this day, but this is a special day certainly, and maybe a final push from all of you on giving and helping out this program. Well,
it's a great day to unite, and there's different markers throughout the year where you can really galvanize and come together, and this is one of those days for all of us to I know Megan and I will contribute again this year, and we encourage everybody to, every dollar counts, to really not just help each of our sports, but to send a message to everybody that says, hey, we are the city's team. We are the city's university. We've got an opportunity to take a real jump forward, because that's what it's all about, is trying to find ways to get better and better.
You guys jump in. Any other pitches that you want to make?
No, I think just kind of going on what Eric said is I think those dollars go well beyond our athletes. Just last Saturday, we had 5 of our guys out helping out with the North Tulsa Soccer League and helping some young kids over there who don't have some of the opportunities that our players have. And I think many of our sports teams go into the community and make a positive impact on the community. So I think these dollars, go beyond our doors, and I think they're really important to our program, especially this day and age in college athletics.
I'll let either one of you two have a final pitch, or you're okay.
Well, I agree. I have athletes that want to immerse themselves, in the community, who sometimes want to find themselves staying in Tulsa, when they're finished with their 4 or 5 years here. And to know that you have a community that comes in, supports them, donates them, shows up to the games is huge for these athletes.
Coaches, thank you so much for taking time, and we certainly hope folks are able to step forward and help out this program. Appreciate that, and don't forget that this is TU Giving Day. It's April 2nd, so your chance to give to the University of Tulsa athletic program, and on the graphic you see the power hours and the matching gift that Coach Carson is going to make. I'm going to call him Coach Carson, but President Carson will make to the winner, to the best unit at the University of Tulsa that is able to give. So look at those power hours. You don't have to give during those hours, but it certainly would be important for University of Tulsa athletics. So we're joined now by head football coach Kevin Wilson. We have Lauren Ramatowski of volleyball. We have Steve Gully, who is the cross country and track and field coach, Jim Ryan, women's soccer, and then Annie Young of women's golf. And so I'm going to ask you all kind of what are the challenges and opportunities right now in today's landscape? And I'll start with you, Coach Wilson.
Well, I like the word opportunities. We shared that earlier because to me every challenge is an opportunity to find better ways to help our students, to help our university, to help these kids reach their goals on and off the field. Being a smaller school, being a private school, you don't get state funding, so we're all going to be financially strapped. That's always a part of the challenge, but it's also you got to trust the way Mr. Dixon, the way Brad Carson, our people are running our deal. We're going to use our funds wisely and appropriate the funds the right way to give these kids and our teams the best opportunity to be successful. We're having a great spring. There's a lot of energy on campus right now, and I think it's a great time to be at TU.
Absolutely. Coach?
Yeah, I mean, as we continue to build the volleyball program and just continue to have more and more success, I think the money that we get from all of our supporters is so important, and just the experience that we can provide for our athletes. And we have amazing young women at the school and on the volleyball program, and so just being able to provide them with additional experiences. We're going on a foreign tour this summer, and so that's an amazing experience that they probably wouldn't have gotten if we wouldn't have had the support. So
Absolutely.
Well, I guess since I'm one of the oldest coaches here, being here 24 years, I'm always amazed what we're able to do at the University of Tulsa with what we have. And I think it's a big change right now because we've gone into a conference and we have some major state schools that are carrying 40,000 people, and they're getting money from student fees and stuff like that, where the University of Tulsa doesn't. So I think every time we can get any type of support, being so small, but yet we're so competitive, I think it's a big goal here. I think any type of support we can get has been huge, and it affects all our programs. And you got everything going on. And some sports have seasons in the fall. My sport, I've just happened to have seasons all year round, so I'm competitive all year. But I think we're all in a situation where we appreciate everything people are able to help us with.
Yeah, I agree with Steve. I think that one of the most important things we have to look at is in recruiting, we have to be able to put out a product that is appealing to athletes, and with their help through these funds, we're able to do that.
I think it's helped us to be able to compete with the best. This case fund has been big for us to be able to recruit. When we go up against top schools, we're able to offer a lot of what those schools offer. And so not only that, but our leadership has stepped up and allowed us to play against the best. If we can, golf's a little different, but if we can get in the best tournaments, we want to be able to go and travel, and we've been able to do that. We got to perform a little better, but that's another subject. But I think the opportunity for our kids to be able to compete has been very, very good.
Yeah, and it's a situation where if you do click athletics, that panel that says athletics, you'll see case fund down there a lot, and that's been very important to the university, no question, and it has impacted all of your sports. And maybe anybody just jump in and tell us how the case fund has helped out.
I think it's something new, so that's why it's exciting. I think it's been effective, am I right, just a year now? And we've seen the difference, and what people don't understand, the case fund is tied into academics. And that's important, and it's something that goes with the University of Tulsa. I think it's something that we can take advantage of and something that can help us quicker than I think a lot of other schools.
Does it help, do you think, in terms of when you're in somebody's living room and you're recruiting a young athlete and you have the parents there? and to tell them that they'll get rewarded for great academic success, isn't that a positive?
I think it is. I think it's because it is so new. I don't think the public totally understands how it affects the university. But yes, if you're going in there and saying, hey, we're tying this academically and we're recruiting certain type of student athletes at the University of Tulsa, they're looking at it's a win-win situation. I'm being able to compete, but I can get some type of reward due to my academic success. I think it's huge.
And Coach Wilson, some of your success has been as a result of the Case Fund and being able to tie that, right?
Yeah, I was at a program where our previous coach made a big deal. He called it meritocracy, one of the founding principles of our country. Based on merit, you get rewarded. And I started doing that. We took our GPA in the 1 year we've been here. Historically, for 16 years, we were anywhere from a 2.3 to a 2.6 team GPA. We were 2.92 last spring. We were 3.07 in the fall. One, we did it with this simple thing called go to class. Because if you didn't go to class, years ago when we played, you would have to do extra work. Now it's just like, hey, I'm going to hold that case money back. And when you're talking about recruiting, I go into the homes and sell. Typically, we're recruiting kids. A lot of times they're coming from some great homes. And I'm selling the parents that, like, just in your work, when you do well, you get awarded at the end with maybe a bonus, a Christmas bonus, or a new contract or a pay raise. We're going to do that for your son. If you do well, we had 77 kids over 3.0 in the fall, and 13 kids at a 4.0. And some of those guys are just smart, yeah. But our work ethic is picked up, and with that, our vibe around campus is picked up. We sell it in recruiting. We also sell the fact that you do have to earn it, because everything I present then goes to our athletic director and his staff and the academic people, and they agree or make changes. So it's not like as a coach, I'm saying who gets what. I'm encouraging our kids to do well, and our guys, they've knocked it out of the park. So I'm proud of our players and the Case Fund and the way I kind of constantly – I just had a phone call on the way over here about a class, some guys are maybe not doing well. And I said, hey, I'll talk about their Case Fund today. And that's a little bit of my motivation to help them keep doing well. So I'm proud of the guys, and I appreciate the support and what Rick Dixon and all the people that have attributed that fund has truly impacted our program greatly.
And I'll ask some of the other coaches. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll add, like, not even from a recruiting from a recruiting perspective, it's huge just to be able to let them know they're going to get rewarded. But also, it was really awesome for me to be able to reward some of my players that I've got a senior who's getting ready to go to PA school that she hasn't been able to work for 4 years because she's been a student athlete at a very difficult school, and she's got a 4.0. And to be able to reward her with this money at the end of her semester and set her up for success for her next step is huge. I've got our first team academic All-American, Kaylee Cassidy, a 4.0 mechanical engineer. For me to be able to say, like, hey, you're awesome, here is some money, I just think that that's setting them up for success. We're telling them thank you for everything you've done and committed to TU. Here's a little reward for that to set you up for success in your adult life.
Absolutely. And coaches maybe also comment about the Champions Fund as well, which is more of a general fund, but very, very important to fund all of our athletic programs. That's important as well.
I think the Case Fund also is useful in retention of our athletes, because there's not a lot of schools that are able to do what we're doing. And so we've only had one kid in the past 3 seasons enter the portal. So it's something huge that you can say, you do your work on the field and you get rewarded. You do your work in the classroom and you get rewarded. And I mean, some of these Case Fund awards are close to $6,000, which for a college kid is life-changing. So I think that's huge in retention as well.
We're actually going to start a program to teach the kids finances and to learn how to use that money, because if you invest it wisely, you might have a little more money when you're done here. But as far as the Champions Fund, I think it's been a game changer for us too. The nutrition after workouts, for them to be able to get them the food they need and the meals they need has been I know it's helped our team a lot. And just on the golf course to be able to provide the necessary items out there too. I think our fundraising has done, Kyle has done a great job to get people that Champions Fund has gone up dramatically since Rick got here, and since Kyle's been doing a great job with that, and it doesn't go unnoticed by us coaches.
And when you look at the pie chart, we have a pie chart here, which will be up as a full screen. That's your gift at work. This is what happens to the money. And you know what? There's not even a sliver, not even a little bit of that pie that says administrative costs or anything. I mean, it all goes to the athletes. And I think that's important, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I want to echo back too. With the Case Fund, for example, a couple of my big awards were to my seniors, who were all conference and captains, but also well up into the high 3-point GPAs as seniors, to award those guys, because I thought that would help retain the next senior class. Hey, come on back, and if you do a great job, the Case Fund, the administration, Coach Wilson, they're going to take care of you for doing a good job. That Champions Fund, when we're talking about the retention and all this, well, you got recruiting expenses. In my world, we just had the best recruiting class maybe in a long time, and maybe in the history of our school, but we had to go recruit a lot of kids, and that takes money. That's part of your budget. You're getting the equipment, getting the food, like Andy's talking about down there. We're practicing on Saturday mornings, and the cafeteria maybe is not open for that Saturday morning practice in spring ball. But yet you're going to have your guys for a 4-hour day. So how are you getting some nutrition in those guys and some recovery with the Gatorade and the cost and all that? So, I know Rick's big deal is the well-being and the experience of these athletes. He's investing everything back with these kids, and like I say, on and off the field. We got a long way to go, but we're trending and going in the right way. And I think that's why there's so much excitement on campus as our spring sports and winter sports have played so well.
All right. Go ahead.
The other thing I'll add is that, not even from a coach perspective, but what I've noticed is that our athletes are also very grateful. We've made some changes in our gym, just with branding and with some equipment that were necessary for them to be able to learn the sport. And every time that something new comes in, our girls walk in and they say, "Thank you so much, Coach." So I think just to make sure that 2U supporters understand that our girls and our athletes are very grateful for their support.
One final pitch. Anybody can jump in here. Why is it important to give?
I think what we've been able to do is not only with the nutrition like they were talking about, but also with the recovery stuff. We have 2 massage chairs in our team room. We have the compression boots in 2 of our own compression boots in our team room. So the athletes get those opportunities, our GPS monitors, so that we can monitor the load that they have during their training sessions and so forth. We never had that opportunity to have that type of stuff. And so now our athletes are being more taken care of than what they would have been in the past, and it's because of the giving.
Any other final pitches? Why is it important to give?
It's huge. I mean, I don't think people understand the total cost of just a day in athletics at the University of Tulsa. From your nutrition, how about your academic support? We have people that help our students, enrollment, everything. There are so many things that have changed in as an athlete being 40 years ago. These kids have so much now there to help support them succeed. Our job is to make sure their experience is a good experience at the University of Tulsa.
And I think we need to realize these are the kids of the future. People are hiring athletes, and the more that they can give and set us up for success, it's only they'll return it. I can assure you that, and they are appreciative of it. We have some great donors out there. We just ask that you keep giving. We're doing the best we can with what we have, and we're going to keep competing hard, and your dollar is not unnoticed here. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. So givingday.utulsa.edu is the place to go today on April 2nd, TU Giving Day, and choose athletics or Golden Hurricane Champions Fund after you go to Find Your Cause on the menu. Coaches, thank you so much. It was a pleasure here on Coaches and Coffee. Thank you.